Hi, everyone. I'm Jenna Schulman, and I am a college counselor in Northern New Jersey. And I have been doing these all summer in case you haven't checked in yet or this is your first one. So I'm hosting these college summer spotlight series where pretty much I feel like every day during the week I am hosting a different college throughout the summer. So my students, outside students, anyone who wants to be on can learn more about that particular college and the academics and the student life and the admissions process. And I'm happy to have Marist on today. I was on Marist 2 years ago for the Mid-Hudson Valley tour alongside of the Culinary Institute, which people don't realize is down the road. So you get some great food, and West Point and Vassar. And Marist was awesome, such a beautiful view, such a beautiful campus, such friendly people. And it's one of my favorite schools. I have a lot of students that are there that say a lot of great things about the school. So of course I wanted to have them. And today we have two people from Marist that are representing the school. Gina Jadelis, did I pronounce that right? Who is the New Jersey admissions counselor. And we also have the director of admissions here today, Kent Reinhardt. So we get two of you and your expertise on Marist College. And Gina and I had sent out a link for students that are on here to click the link. So Marist has you on record that you've attended and you can start to get emails and information about them. So if you go on the link that I chatted and sign up, you'll start hearing more from Marist. And also, if you have any questions along the way, please put them in the Q&A chat here, and Gina or Kent will get to them at the end of the presentation, or maybe I'll cut you off in the middle of the presentation with the questions. So definitely want to get a lot of your questions answered, since I know it's a weird time to visit schools right now, and they want to make sure that you feel comfortable enough to understand more about Marist without actually being able to visit. So I will hand it over to, I guess, Gina, who can introduce yourself. Do you want to maybe explain what territory you represent of New Jersey? Is it the whole state or just Northern New Jersey? I forget.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Hi everyone, my name is Gina. I am an admission counselor at Marist. I'm also a proud alum. I graduated in 2018 with a degree in public relations and a minor in fashion merchandising, and I'm currently pursuing my master's in public administration at Marist as well. So just all around a red fox. Did our pre-college program too. And so I am from New Jersey. I'm from what I consider Central Jersey, which is Scotch Plains. And so I have the entire state of New Jersey as my territory. I am the only admission counselor in New Jersey, and that's my only territory. So, so again, I am all through Bergen County to South Jersey. That's me. And yeah, it's so great to meet you guys virtually today. And I'll have Kent introduce himself as well.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kent Reinhardt. I'm Dean of Admission at Marist, and I've had the honor and privilege of being in that role for the last 14 years. And I have a special affinity for my friends from New Jersey because when I started in college admissions many, many years ago, my first territory was New Jersey, and I really focused on Northern New Jersey in particular. So I have a special love for the Garden State. And I'm thrilled to join you during this extraordinary time. Hopefully we can give you some good information about Marist and the college search process in general.
Okay, great. So I think, Gina, you have something to present, to go through. I think you're muted, yeah.
Yes. Yep. Okay. There we go. Can everyone should be able to see my screen. And I am someone who I thrive on questions in these presentations. So if anyone has questions, Jenna, like you said, if you interrupt me in the middle because you have a pressing question that you feel is relevant, please do so. I always design these presentations. I want them to be as purposeful for you as possible. I want the students to get, and parents and families who may be listening, I want them to get the information that they want. So if that means stopping me and asking me questions, that's totally okay with me. That is what I am here for. But I do have some visuals to assist in this process throughout this presentation. So I want to be respectful of the time and get started. And so if you are looking in through your computer, you can see our beautiful campus, which is on the Hudson River. So Marist is a small to medium sized private liberal arts college in Poughkeepsie, New York. So that is about an hour and a half north of New York City and about an hour and a half south of Albany. And the campus itself is located right on the Hudson River. And it's really difficult to describe just what a beautiful campus it is. Pictures don't seem to really do it justice, or even, quite frankly, words to describe walking around campus, how you have that traditional college feel of, there's a lot of green grass where our students typically will lay out and study and really enjoy their time outside, and then a lot of really beautiful architecture of our buildings. So I do encourage you, when it is healthy and safe, to make the trip to campus, because it is quite a beautiful campus to view. And I always suggest to go and visit in the fall. That's my favorite time to see the fall foliage, to take advantage of some of our local accommodations, such as the walkway over the Hudson, as Jenna mentioned, the Culinary Institute as well. Again, who knows what that may look like in a few months. But again, you can really make a day out of your college visit. And again, feel free to email me with, asking me for lunch recommendations or anything like that. I'm happy to make it a day or even a weekend for you. And so we like to start off our presentation with Marist by the numbers. And so, as I mentioned, we are a small to medium-sized institution with about 5,000 students at the undergraduate level. And so this allows us to keep our class sizes on the smaller side, where our class sizes typically on average are between 18 to 24 students, and there really aren't going to be any more than 32 students in a classroom. So we do not have lecture halls at Marist. We don't have those large size classrooms, and it really creates a great learning environment for the professors to really get to know the students, and students can work together collaboratively. We do have about 1,000 students at the grad school level, because as time has gone on, even my short time that I've been associated with the college has been developing a number of graduate programs. The newest ones have been the Doctorate of Physical Therapy program and our Physician's Assistant program, both of which are on ground as opposed to some of our online programs. So we have seen an increase in our graduate students on campus. However, a majority of those students, as I mentioned, are taking courses online and at night to accommodate jobs that they may have. So when you are walking around campus, if students are there, you would see our traditional undergraduate students. And typically they're wearing Marist shirts and Marist hats. It's one of our most notable facts that our panelists and tour guides love to mention. We also are a geodiverse campus with 47 out of the 50 states represented and 64 different international countries. So it's not going to be that you're just meeting students from the Garden State at Marist. You're going to expand your perspective and really be able to meet students from all over the world. We also have 40 different academic majors and programs at Marist. And so what I like to point out here is I'm not going to go through all 40 majors and what they offer. Again, that is what the chat box is for, and I would love to go into more details about a specific program you're interested in. But what I like to mention here is the flexibility that Marist students have with their academics. And so when you apply to the college, you're applying to the college as a whole. And this means a few different things. The first thing is that if you come in as one of our most popular majors undecided, you have the opportunity to test the waters in a few different areas and see which major is really the best fit for you, as you have until the end of your sophomore year to make that decision. If you come in like someone as myself and think, oh, I'm trying to choose between two different majors. I'm going to go in as a communications major and then switch to history. You can do that too. You don't have to apply into a specific school or program, with the exception of fashion design and studio art. All of our programs, you can easily change your major or add a major. 77% of our students will change their academic path from when they start at Marist and when they apply to when they graduate. And we want to offer our students the flexibility to expand their knowledge of the world, to expand their knowledge of different areas, and make that change if that's what they feel is in their best interest. And so this really helps our students lead to their success. And 90% of our students are employed or attending graduate school within 6 months of graduating from the college. And I attribute this to the resources we have on campus, whether that's our advising resources, our internship program, our study abroad opportunities, the mentors that we have on campus. We really are able to create a great nurturing environment to lead you to succeed in the workplace or in graduate school after your time at Marist. And we recognize that college is an investment and we want you to finish within 4 years. So our academic advisors will work with you to ensure that you are graduating within 4 years from your very first semester. And they work with you to think about those big picture ideas, such as, do you want to study abroad? Do you want a full-time internship for maybe in Manhattan or in our DC semester program? If you're unsure of your major, okay, what are your options? So we work with our students to make sure that they're on track and they're planning for all of those different opportunities at Marist. It's always better to have a plan than to not have a plan, and then realize, oh, it's junior year and 50% of my friends are studying abroad and I can't go abroad because I already fulfilled those requirements, and have that plan from your very first semester. And this leads to the classroom experience, which is, again, quite unique at Marist as they are relatively small classrooms. I found the transition from a rather large high school very easy, as a lot of my professors knew much more than my name. They knew what I was interested in studying. They knew who I was working with on my group projects and what our project was and why we wanted to do that project. 75% of our faculty or staff hold a PhD or the highest terminal degree in their field. So you know you're learning from industry, from experts, but they also come from industry. And so for me as a public relations student, this was extremely valuable. My academic advisor and one of my professors, she did the PR for Kellogg's Pop-Tarts for over 20 years. So I knew that I was gaining a valuable education that I was going to be able to bring into the workforce. Another thing that I really appreciated about the classroom and about the professors that we have at Marist is that we do not have TAs leading the classroom discussion at Marist, and all of our professors have office hours as well. So I will never forget all of my friends, my first semester, coming home, Thanksgiving, everyone was super stressed about making appointments with their TAs for their finals. And I was very confused because I didn't know what a TA was. And I just, I never had an issue making an office appointment with a professor. So they really do make themselves accessible to you to ensure that you are getting the help that you may need or to be that mentor for you. A key component of the classroom experience at Marist is also going to be hands-on learning, and this can be very different depending on what your major may be. So for me, I did everything in the classroom from researching different clients, and I had to create a 6-month PR plan. In our School of Computer Science and Mathematics, it may be working in one of the computer labs. It may be doing our IBM joint study program. For students who are interested in teaching, it might be observing in the classroom. So that's a really key component to the classroom experience because we want our students to be prepared to go into industry and go into internships and field work, but we want them to be prepared beforehand, and we start that in the classroom at Marist. And so Marist is, as I mentioned, a liberal arts school, and so we do have those values that we really value, that core curriculum. We encourage you and want you to expand your knowledge beyond the perspective of your major. And so that is one of the key components of the core curriculum and why we enforce it, you know, even to this day and see value in it, in those critical thinking skills and expanding your perspective. So for me, I was actually personally very nervous to take a science course at college because again, I majored in PR and fashion, not my strong suit. And I was actually able to take a course in Florence, Italy, where it was a cooking course. I wore a chef hat, chef jacket, whole 9 yards every Monday night. That's how I made my dinner. And that was my science requirement. So I like to share the story for a few different reasons. One, it tells you about the unique opportunities we have for students when they go abroad. But two, it tells you that we have non-traditional core classes for our students, and that you have the opportunity to expand your knowledge in a non-traditional way that is really going to be valuable to you, whether that's in personal development or in the workforce. There is one course you are required to take, and that is the first year seminar. First year seminar is designed to teach you what it's like to be an upperclassman at Marist. And we want you to experience in your first semester at Marist what it's like to write a 30-page research paper and give a 20-minute presentation on that paper, so that you're able to succeed later on in those upper level classes. And we're here to help and support you along the way. And we want you to do it and be interested. So the topics are really fun, such as Pirates of the Caribbean, That 70s Show, the zombie apocalypse, and more. So there's about 30 of them that we offer each year. And a component of that class is going to be the common read, which faculty will choose based on current topics or important issues they feel students should be discussing. And we do have a lecture series each fall that goes along with that common read. Typically, we either have the author of the book come to campus or a guest speaker. But again, there is that component of having that lecture series. And it helps build a common ground for our first year students, not only with each other, but with faculty and staff, that they can have that educated conversation and start that relationship again from the very first semester. And so I know I mentioned the importance of hands-on learning at Marist. And again, while I would love to show you the facilities in person, unfortunately that's not possible today. So these are just some images that we have of the facilities that we have on campus, starting with our Allied Health building. You should be able to see my mouse. So I'm circling them here. Normally I have my pointer, but this is our Allied Health building. And as I mentioned, we do have a physician's assistant program and a doctorate of physical therapy program at Marist. And we do have a number of students, and Jenna shared with me, some of you are interested in pursuing those studies, which is amazing. And so we have a number of students who always come up to us even before they're applying for the undergraduate level of, I'm interested in becoming a PA and a DPT. So it's important to include that we do have those programs in these facilities in this presentation. So in that building, we do have a gross anatomy lab with donor cadavers. We have mannequins who do everything from give birth to, they could have broken bones, they could talk to you. Again, not a science person, don't go in there. You can see here this woman, this doctorate of physical therapy student helping this woman walk with the assistance of IBM technology. IBM is a major partner with Marist, as they have a joint study program with us. They also have internships for our students. They will invite us to their innovative challenges each year. So they've been a really amazing partner, as they have a headquarters about 10 minutes away from campus. In this corner, you can see the Marist Institute for Public Opinion, or the Marist Poll. If you're a fan of the Wall Street Journal or NBC, those are two of their major partners, so you may have heard of us. And this is actually a student job on campus, where students have the opportunity to call different citizens all over the country and gain insight into their perspectives and their opinions. And the directors of the poll also bring a select group of students to the New Hampshire primaries each election cycle, which is a really phenomenal opportunity for students who are interested in going into politics. We also have a cybersecurity center on campus for students who may be interested in computer science or criminal justice. And this is just one of the many facilities that we have in our School of Computer Science. Again, we have computer labs, we have a hacking room and an eSport gaming room. So just really amazing facilities for those students. This is my personal favorite. This is the Collective by Emporium. So this is a brick and mortar store in our brand new steel plant studios for our fashion and communication students to have that practice of running a store and visually merchandising it and going into the city and purchasing merchandise to sell in the store, staffing the store. And again, this is a great opportunity for you to gain that experience that you may be applying it for an internship or a job. And you can put this on your resume. And that's exactly the idea. We also have Bloomberg terminals at Marist for our students in the School of Management to become Bloomberg certified. We have our Greystone Equity Fund where they have the ability to invest real money into the stock market. So again, there are facilities for all students. And again, these are just some highlights that we have. But again, that hands-on learning on campus is extremely important to us at Marist. And that leads to internships and how successful our students are in the internships that they have. So 83% of our students participate in at least one internship. So as you can see pictured here, we have our Center for Career Services perform their job fair and internship fair each year, where they invite major employers such as TJ Maxx, Indeed, Target, again, IBM, come to campus. There's always about 30 to 50 employers come to campus, and you have the opportunity to network with them. The Center for Career Services also does career treks into Manhattan, and they really diversify the industries that they go and visit. So whether it's a networking event or a day in the life of an employee, you have that opportunity to go to Madison Square Garden or go to a major PR agency and see what that day in the life would be. We also have internship coordinators at Marist, and I think this is really one of the key aspects to the success of the internship program because someone who is doing field work for social work, they're going to have a very different internship experience than someone who is trying to get into the fashion merchandising industry. And so the internship coordinators know where students have interned in the past. They know what your resume should look like. They will go as far as emailing you the applications for the internships or field work and are an extremely helpful resource for students. So my friend Brooke took advantage of these resources, and they helped her get an internship at Long Island News 12 and then Yahoo Finance and then ABC7 Eyewitness News. And then she used a Marist alum to help her get an internship with NBC with Seth Meyers. So you can see how each of those experiences built upon one another for her to achieve her dream internship. And this leads to studying abroad, which is another really amazing opportunity for our students at Marist. So as I mentioned, I studied abroad at our campus in Florence, Italy, and I had the amazing opportunity to be with 120 other Marist students, and I was able to go to 9 different countries and 28 cities while I was there. But this is not an option for everyone. And so you can see that we have 80 different destinations that we send students to. And so just off the top of my head, I had friends go to Ireland, London, France, Hong Kong, Cuba, South Africa, Australia, Japan. So Florence is not the be all end all, although, you know, I am biased and I loved my experience in Florence and I loved being with other Marist students and kind of having a home away from home, since that is our own campus. However, that is not the only option. Some students want to live with a host family. Some students want to take classes in the native language. So you can definitely work with our study abroad office to explore some of those other options. And we also have short-term study abroad programs. So maybe you don't want to study abroad for the duration of a semester, but you want to get that abroad experience. As you can see, it's a big part of our Marist experience as a whole. It's in our mission statement that 50% of our students study abroad in some way, shape, or form. And so our short-term programs are designed for you to actually take a course on our New York Poughkeepsie campus, such as History of Irish Culture, and which would satisfy that core requirement. Again, we have non-traditional courses, and you take that class for the duration of the semester, and then once it's over, you go to Ireland and see all the places that you were talking about. So that's a great alternative to study abroad for 2 to 3 weeks instead of the semester-long program. And then we even have first year programs. We have one in Dublin, Ireland, and one in Florence, Italy. The one in Dublin, Ireland is in partnership with the Dublin Business School, and Florence is our own campus. So you have the opportunity to spend your entire first year with a cohort of about 30 students, or 30 to 50 students rather, each year, make these lifelong friends and these life-changing experiences and then transition back to campus with them for your sophomore year. And a lot of times we'll see those students study abroad again in some way. And so I've mentioned a few times that we do have a campus in Florence, Italy. And so this is our own campus. And if you were to walk the streets of Florence, you would see the Marist logo on some of the buildings. And some students actually choose to spend all 4 years there. And we actually offer a variety of different majors that are specific to the Florence campus, because really where else is better to study art restoration or interior design than the birthplace of the Renaissance. And so if you were to pursue a bachelor's degree there, it is an accredited program where you would earn a degree that's identical to the one that you would earn on our New York campus. And again, if any parents are listening in and you're jealous of the global opportunities your students may have, there is a master's degree program for museum studies that only takes a year to complete. So you can study abroad with your student. I'm sure that they would love that. And then we do have the freshman Florence experience as well. In terms of beyond the books, this is our student life, and quite frankly, I wish we had a student on with us to share the different campus involvements and clubs that we have. Personally, when I was on campus, there were many days that I would leave my apartment at 7:45 in the morning and then not return until maybe 11 o'clock at night because of how many things I was involved in. We have 80 different clubs and organizations, and we have a great activity fair where students have the chance to meet club members and express their different interests or maybe find something completely new. Everything from student government to Greek life to music groups to academic clubs to culture-based clubs. Again, if we don't have something that you're interested in, you can work with student government to start that club on campus as well. We are a Division I athletic school, so we are in the MAC tournament. And so we do have 23 Division I sports teams along with club sports and intramurals. I am probably the least athletic person that you could possibly meet. And I was involved in intramurals through yoga. I even participated in fencing at some point. So you can always try something new. And again, get involved in campus and the community that we have. And so speaking of athletics, we have the McCann Arena. So this was a recent renovation that was just completed in January. And so students were voicing to administration that they were really upset that they weren't able to work out early in the morning because our 120-member varsity football team was using the gym facilities, and that there wasn't a track on campus. And so administration listened to the students and made these changes. And so now we have a suspended track, we have an athlete gym and a student gym, we have an indoor turf field, we have concession stands and an athletic apparel store. So much more than any student, I think, and myself ever anticipated. And like I said, it was a brand new building that just reopened in January. So I know we're eager to get back and hopefully use these facilities again in a safe way. I'm sure that there's going to be lots of hand sanitizers installed in the future as well. In terms of residential life, 96% of first-year students do choose to stay on campus. So by no means is this a suitcase school or does it empty out on the weekends. There's always activities and things to do. Personally, my favorite was the $25 Broadway trips where I would go into Manhattan for the day on Saturday or Sunday and see a Broadway show for $25. I couldn't beat it. They also do ski trips and haunted houses and more, which depending on the season is always really great. And then, along with alumni weekend and family weekend, there's just always events happening on campus where it got to the point where I never wanted to leave because I was so fearful that I was going to be missing out. And in terms of our residence halls, on the left side of your screen, you can see our North End housing. Personally, I think that they look like castles, and they're just absolutely beautiful. This project wrapped up 2 years ago, and now all juniors and seniors who choose to stay on campus would have their own bedroom. In the North End housing, there also is a dining facility and a gym facility as well. So definitely nice accommodations if you do choose to live on campus, as 75% of our students do. So this slide is not updated, but this is our summer pre-college program. And so this year we are offering a virtual experience for 3 weeks in July, from July 6th to the 24th. We have it in business, cybersecurity, fashion merchandising, pre-health, pre-law, game design, and digital media and creative writing. And so again, this is a 3-week program where you can earn 3 transferable college credits. I participated in this program when I was a student in high school, and I really enjoyed it. Although it wasn't virtual, it gave me the opportunity to work with Marist faculty to see what that relationship looks like and experience some of that college level coursework. So this is a great opportunity. Our preferred deadline for this program was yesterday, but if you get in your application today or tomorrow, we may be able to assist in seeing if there's any room in any of these programs. And so now, how to join the Red Fox family. So the first thing that I always like to mention when talking about the application process is that we do have a holistic review process. And so there are a variety of different aspects that we are going to review when looking at the application. We do have 3 different applications that we use: the Common App, the Marist application, and My Coalition. We have no preference as to which one you submit to us. Whichever one works for you works for us. And so again, it does not matter to us. I would say 98% of the applications I read each year come through the Common App, but again, whichever one works for you is fine. We have 2 different decision deadlines, November 15th and February 1st. In terms of our early decision application pools, those are for students who are 110% committed to Marist. They know that this is the college for them and it works academically and financially for them, and they are ready to make that commitment and ready to withdraw their applications from any other institution if they are accepted. Early action is a great pool for students if they are ready to apply early and want to have an extended amount of time once they are accepted to make their decision until our deposit date, which is May 1st. And then regular decision is a great pool for students who may want to show some of their senior year accomplishments. So we review equally throughout our application pools. So whichever one works for you, works for us. And in terms of the application requirements, we are going to look at your transcript because we want you to succeed academically at the college. And we are going to look at those core classes, again, going back to our liberal arts roots. And so we're going to also look at your strength of your curriculum and your high school profile. So does your high school offer honors or AP courses or IB or dual enrollment or however they may label it? And we're going to see that through a document that they provide us called the high school profile. And then we will review it in the context of that high school. While our average accepted student falls between an 88 to a 92, that typically includes a number of honors or AP courses. So just keep that in mind. Then we look at the personal essay. And the personal essay is your opportunity for us to get to know you. And it's your opportunity to tell us about something that doesn't really fit anywhere else on the application. And it's also the part of the application that you have control over in that moment. When you're filling out this application, your transcript has been 3 years in the making. Your extracurriculars have been in the making for a number of years. And so your personal essay is the one thing that you can control. And so use it to your advantage for us to get to know a hobby that you really love, or an activity or a family event that you really love. My only advice is that if you are writing about a person or a thing, that is totally fine. Just make sure it's 20% about that person or thing and 80% about you, because we want to know who you are. We do ask for 2 letters of recommendation. One should be from a guidance counselor. The second one could be from anyone who you trust, whether that is a coach, a teacher, or a mentor. We also have an amazing, committed community at Marist who, again, they're always involved in a number of variety of things. So we want to see that you're involved in high school, and that involvement is going to carry over to your time at Marist. And finally, we are test optional. So Marist has been test optional for about the last 10 years. So I know that there's a lot of stress and anxiety over canceled SATs and ACTs, but this is not a new policy for us. And again, has been integrated in our system for a number of years. And so typically my advice for students is if you feel that your test scores adequately represent your academic abilities, feel free to submit your scores. Just know that we will take them into consideration whether they impact you positively or negatively. If you don't submit your test scores, nothing is held against you, including merit scholarship. So we definitely put more of an emphasis on the 4 years of your performance in high school than how you perform on one test or two on a Saturday. But again, we want to give you that option if you feel that it's going to enhance your application. And in terms of affordability, we recognize that college is an investment, and we hope that you recognize that Marist is going to give you a great return on your investment through the variety of opportunities and resources we can offer you. And 90% of our students do receive some sort of institutional aid, starting with merit scholarships. And so in terms of merit scholarship, our top merit scholarship is going to be $25,000, and students are automatically considered for merit scholarships when they apply into the college. So you don't have to check a box or submit an application to be considered for merit. We also have special program scholarships if you're interested in ROTC, music, or theater. Those are definitely worth looking into for some additional funds. And then we have need-based financial aid as well through the FAFSA or CSS profile. So at this point, that I know that was a lot of information in a short amount of time. And I want to thank you all again for taking the time out of your day to learn a little bit about Marist. I know that we are hard at work figuring out safe and healthy ways to invite you onto campus in the very near future. So hopefully you'll be able to. As soon as we get the go ahead, we can't wait to have students back on and visitors back on campus to see what it's like in person. But with that, I would love to answer any questions. I saw that a few came in.
Yeah, so if you came in, I just have one of my own. What, if you were explaining kind of the look and feel of the campus, the surrounding area, and then what students often do on the weekends, how would you express that in a way since they can't visit right now?
Sure. So I typically tell students your radius off campus is going to grow as you grow. So your first year, we do not have cars on campus, and so you're going to stay on the campus during, maybe during the weekends or during your free time, or utilize our loop bus system, which is free for Marist students, or maybe you'll be friends with an upperclassman, and probably stay pretty close to campus. And again, there's tons of great events that we host. We have movies in our student center every Friday and Saturday night. Our student programming council has comedians and coffee houses. There's always clubs and events that are going on during the weekends and at nights. Again, I think one thing high school students don't realize it right now, but you are all in school from 7:30 to 2:30 every day. And when you go to college, that might not be the case. You might not have any classes on Wednesday, but then have 4 classes on Thursday. And so the weekends and nights are really the opportunity for clubs and activities to happen to ensure that most students are participating. But anyway, back to the surrounding areas. So once students start getting a car on campus, maybe you're transferring in some credits, someone in your apartment has a car, you're starting to explore the greater Poughkeepsie area. So like Jenna mentioned, maybe you're going to the Culinary Institute, maybe you're exploring by Vassar or some of the great restaurants that we have in Poughkeepsie at the local level, our walkway across the Hudson, which is the longest walkway in America, that goes right over the Hudson River. And then junior and senior year, for me, it was after I went abroad and I explored all over Europe. I wanted to explore all over New York. And so I was going into neighboring towns like Beacon and Rhinebeck and New Paltz, which are 30 to 40 minutes away, but you can really make a nice day out of it. And exploring those neighboring towns, there's lots of great places to go hiking. We do have a train station about 5 minutes away from campus, which will get you into Manhattan in as little as 90 minutes. So that's always an option for students as well. For those of you like me, who is used to going into the city, being a Jersey girl, and having the city accessible and right there, that's definitely an option for our students too.
Great. How big is Greek life on campus?
In terms of Greek life is about 10% of campus. So I was actually involved in Greek life. And so what I typically tell students is, if you want to get involved in it, there's definitely a sizable population that is involved. But if you don't want to get involved, the majority of students are not involved in Greek life and are involved in a variety of other things. So, you know, it's totally up to you. We do not have houses on campus. It's not going to be like a Greek row. But for me, it was definitely a nice balance of being involved in my sorority, but then also having other responsibilities that I can attend to while I was a student in undergrad.
Okay, somebody asked, can you speak about the computer science program? Is it a popular major? Is it competitive?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of our computer science program, it is a popular major, again, because we do have such strong ties to IBM, and it is a really rigorous and strong, I know I used the word strong before, but you know, really rigorous, and is going to give you a really great education in that program. We have a lot of students who will also utilize multiple majors in that program, such as information systems or information technology, because actually for all three of those majors, computer science, information technology, and information systems, you're going to have the identical first 2 years actually. So you have the ability to maybe take a few more classes and get that double major and have that extra credential, which is definitely really nice. And so I think our dean of computer science really speaks volumes of their students when he does not offer unpaid internships for his students in the School of Computer Science. So any internship that he is posting or the school is posting is going to be a paid internship, because he sees that much value in the students and the skill set that they are learning. And many of them are walking away from those internships with job offers going into their senior year. Kent, is there anything that I missed about computer science that I should mention?
No, you hit it. I think that the big thing with our computer science program is that our students are getting that liberal arts background. And so very often our computer science and technology students are looking at really specialized schools, the RPI, the Carnegie Mellon of the world. And then they consider a place like Marist, which is very different from those institutions, a much broader experience in terms of the liberal arts. But we still offer that intensive technological experience through our security operations center and our robotics classes and our esports program. So there's a number of different benefits there. And so we find that students are really kind of choosing between a more narrow type of institution, like the schools I mentioned, or a place like us, which is a little bit broader.
Great. I would like to know more about your business program. And then someone else asks, what percentage of students are business majors? Is there a GPA requirement to enter the business program in sophomore year?
So in terms of entering our business program, there is not a GPA requirement. Again, when you apply to the college, you apply to it as a whole. So the only two programs that you would need to apply directly into are fashion design and studio art, as they have a portfolio requirement, because we want to make sure that you have the technical skills to succeed in those programs. But in terms of business, that's actually one of our largest schools on campus. It kind of always is competing with the School of Communication and the Arts. And there's a variety of different programs that you can get involved in the School of Management. So you can major in business administration with concentrations in international business, human HR, marketing,
Finance.
And finance are the four, and entrepreneurship is the newest one. And then we also have accounting in that school as well. So a lot of students, again, will take advantage. Let's say you have a marketing student, will take advantage of that liberal arts background that Kent was describing for students in computer science, and they will do marketing and, let's say, history and advertising. So now we have a student who's, interested in working possibly in a museum, or a variety of different options. So that's one highlight. Another thing about our business program is our proximity to New York City, and the fact that a lot of our students have the ability, which I normally mention in the internship slide, but I didn't mention it today, they have the ability to commute into the city as well. So a lot of our students will create their schedule to have no classes, maybe let's say Monday and Thursday, and utilize those days to go into the city and intern. So that's definitely a very popular experience for our students. And again, they're learning from industry professionals as well. So I personally know a lot of the business professors. I was never in the School of Management because my friends were able to create such meaningful relationships with their professors through their times at Marist.
Great. What are the liberal arts core curriculum classes that are required for graduation?
In terms of liberal arts curriculum, it's going to be a math, a history, a science, a literature class. There's an ethics course, and then your first year seminar and a writing for college course, and a fine arts. I believe it's those 7 classes. And one unique aspect of our core curriculum is that Marist wants you to concentrate essentially your core in a specific way. And eventually this really helps a lot of our students get that minor, which is a nice credential. So let's say, and I'm just going to use myself as an example, I did American Studies as I transferred in my AP Gov credits. As I mentioned, I came in as a history major, and I then changed, but I took American history, I took American Lit. So now I'm in 3 different disciplines. And then I took another American history course, and that created my pathway. So we have about 30 different pathways that you would choose from. For me, a really exciting new development for the college is they just introduced a social justice pathway. They have a global studies pathway as well. So lots of interesting things that can definitely relate to a lot of different fields.
I think as we look at our general ed curriculum, it ties into kind of the philosophy of the college, is that we want the learning to really be meaningful and impactful. And so if you think about your experience in high school is often just a myriad of courses that are really unrelated in many ways. So you're taking an English class, you're taking a math class, you're taking a history class, and very often those are completely unrelated. What we do is we have this binding pathway topic that will be of interest to you, whether it be social justice or sustainability. And then all your liberal arts courses around that will be centered on that particular topic. And they actually kind of build off of each other. And you'll have some interest in that particular area. So it's applicable to your area of interest, and you're still getting that broad-based learning experience. And that's just one example of how we try to bring our learning really to the next level to make it interesting and impactful and pertinent to your interests and what you want to do with your life.
Great. Somebody asked, is housing guaranteed for all 4 years?
So housing is not guaranteed for all 4 years. The way that Marist housing works is that we work on a priority point system. So you earn points through your grades, disciplinary actions, room condition, and campus involvement. So it's, in a way, positive peer pressure for our students to get involved in our community. There is 1 point that is required for service, which again is in that campus involvement. Get involved in the community, and then also make sure your friends are getting involved in your community. And the more points you have, the earlier your time slot is going to be on housing day. And so the more options essentially you will have. In the past, I think it's 7 years, Kent, we haven't kicked anyone off campus who has wanted to stay on campus. We always will work with students to ensure that they are staying on campus. That North End housing project has really helped us expand the number of beds that we can have for our upperclassmen as well, and has become a very popular option too. But it is not guaranteed for all 4 years. And we do see a number of students who do, choose to move off campus for a variety of different reasons.
Somebody asked, this is an interesting question. What are some of the common read titles that students have read?
Yep. So this year it's Vote for Us, How to Take back our elections and change the future. Last year it was The Power. 2 years ago it was a memoir of a gentleman who was in the presentation who built schools in Somaliland, and about his experience doing so. So again, it's going to be those world kind of globally minded topics that we want our students to start exploring, and intertwining global issues into our campus, and those conversations from their very first semester at Marist.
Okay, so I don't know if anyone has any more questions, but I'll ask some. So I know Marist has a great Office of Accommodations for students that have learning differences. So if you, maybe either one of you could speak a little bit about that, but then also students maybe that don't necessarily classify as that, but just want extra help, like any one of us in college, how does the college help students adjust and with their schoolwork?
Sure. So we do have a learning support program, which is a comprehensive supportive program where students would meet with an academic advisor twice a week to support them with their academic courses. There is an additional fee for that course, and there is a separate application. And so what will happen is you would submit that application and simultaneously with your application to the college, and then we have a liaison in our office who works hand in hand with that office to see if you're a good fit for that program. Every year we have students who may be too strong for that program, or they don't apply because they simply need the accommodations that we can offer them at the college. And so the way I typically describe accommodations is, I fell, as I said, not athletic, a clumsy person. I fell, I broke my arm. I would be able to receive accommodations through the college, whether it's note taking or videotaped classes or whatever the case may, whatever accommodations they can offer me, for that specific circumstance. So I encourage students and families to reach out to accommodations directly, because there's really sensitive and confidential information that goes into that application process, and the Office of Accommodations can assist in determining which one would be the best fit for you. And again, if you're just looking for some extra help on campus, and maybe you don't need accommodations, maybe you just need some tutoring. We do have tutoring on campus as well, which is a student job on campus where you would pay minimum wage to a student who received a B or higher in the course and was recommended by their professor to assist in tutoring you. And there are a number of courses that we also have free tutoring for as well. But for me, I needed help in Italian before I was going abroad for a semester. So I got an Italian tutor. It was great. It was like the best $10 I spent all week. And she helped me, whether it was studying for an exam or helping me with my homework.
Okay. Someone asked, is the campus open to just walk around?
It is. Our campus is an open campus, so there's nothing stopping students from driving up, parking, and walking around. Our buildings are pretty much all closed and locked. However, the state is starting to open up, and we are very optimistic that we will be able to accommodate visitors with some formal programming by the end of the month. But in the meantime, you are absolutely welcome to come up and take a look around. It's a safe campus to walk around in, very easy and quite pleasant.
Okay, great. So Gina and Kent, I know that you both went to Marist. I just had to look that up, Kent. So if you want to, explain a little bit more about why you chose Marist, why you chose to stay at Marist and work there, and kind of what makes it special and unique. There's obviously a lot of colleges to choose from, and a lot of colleges that might appear similar on paper to Marist, some of those peer institutions. So maybe what stands out to about Marist?
Gina, go ahead.
So for me, I know I mentioned it a few times. I was a high school student and I was not sure if I wanted to be a history teacher or if I wanted to go into social media and fashion. You can see I clearly did neither one of those things. And so I was looking at schools within a 2-hour radius. So I had a checklist. I had 2-hour radius from my home. I had to be a small to medium sized school. And had to offer the programs I was interested in. And Marist was really the only one that checked off the box. I went to a lot of different colleges in that 2-hour radius. And I'll never forget so many of those college tours. I'd be like, oh, how's the communication program? And they'd be like, oh, it's really great. And I'd be like, oh, how's the education program? And they'd be like, people don't really come here to major in education, or vice versa. And that was really concerning because even I knew at 17 years old, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I knew I had different options. I was like, what if I find something completely different that I'm not even aware of right now? So when I was looking at Marist, I really saw that everything that they were doing, if they weren't doing it at the best that they possibly could, they weren't going to attempt to do it. And I really appreciated that. So even if I went left field and said, okay, I'm going to do computer science or biology, I knew I was going to get a quality education. I felt really comfortable on campus. As I mentioned, I did the pre-college program and I had the opportunity to work with professors while I was there, and they knew, what I was doing after I was done with the program and kept in contact with me. And, that was a huge aspect of my decision. Just knowing that I really valued those relationships in high school, and I was looking forward to that in college. And I found a variety of different mentors at the college through first-year programs, through our admission office, where they offered me a fellowship my senior year, through my academic advisor, and just really amazing experiences, which I personally, now try to highlight through presentations such as these. And then there's so many more that I just couldn't possibly fit in the 4 years. So that's just a little bit of insight as to why I chose Marist and why I think that it's a really special place.
Yeah, and I think that as students are looking at a place like Marist or any college university, there's two parts to it. One is, does it have the opportunities and programs that you would necessarily want? And does it have the experiences that you're hoping for from the academic piece? And then two is, is it a fit in your heart? As you walk around the campus, can you see yourself there? And so, although I attended Marist a long time ago, but the reason I work at Marist is because the opportunities that we offer at a place like Marist, we are large. We have large opportunities that you would find typically only at huge universities. Whether it be our technology, whether it be our research, whether it be our internships, whether it be our alumni network, the diversity of our student body. I mean, there is a lot of things that you will only find at a large university, but in our community at Marist. But we still offer the personal touch of a leading liberal arts college. There is small classes, all the classes are taught by faculty. There's no teaching assistants or graduate assistants. You aren't a number. And it's truly a community. It's on a beautiful campus right on the banks of the Hudson River. And it's a community of a diverse set of students. Most of our students are from outside of New York State. We have students from virtually every state, 60 some odd countries. So we have a broad, diverse group of young people together that are learning not only from the faculty, but from each other. And, I think one of the things that we're going to be looking for as we try to select the next class as our fall 2021 group is that we're going to be looking for students that are bringing something really unique to the campus and unique in terms of their thought, in terms of their experiences, in terms of their perspectives. And so someone asked about the supplement, and the supplement is your chance to really tell us where you think Marist is a fit for you and what do you bring to us. And so we have no plans on changing our essay in any way, shape, or form. I know that the common application and the coalition application, which we accept both, are putting an edit in for COVID, and certainly we will take those, but we really want to know who you are beyond what's happened in the last 2 to 3 months. Who are you as an individual? What type of learner are you? And what kind of roommate will you be?
Thank you. So eloquent. Okay, so I think we will wrap it up. Thank you so much for being a part of this today. It was very helpful to learn more about Marist and have students learn more about it. Just to plug the rest of my, did I share that right? I'm always scared of share screen and what's going to come up. I have like text messages up here. All right, so here's the rest of the schedule for everyone to look and see and register for more. So I'm really happy to have Marist on today. Definitely hope that you guys can all check it out in person, but you guys both did a great job of giving us a comprehensive visit, virtual visit. And here are the rest of the events if you guys want to check them out. Thank you, Gina and Kent. It was great having you, and everyone enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks, guys. Bye.